How do you overcome lust, sexual immorality, and sins of impurity? Matthew chapter 5 verse 29 to 30, Jesus says, if your right eye causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body be thrown into hell. He also says the same thing of your right hand. The first question you should ask yourself is, why the eye and the hand? The sins of impurity and sexual immoralities would be almost impossible, and the temptations to such sins would seem less pleasurable if the eyes were not involved, both the physical eyes and the eye of the mind. And then carrying out the sinful actions would be difficult without your limbs. I believe the message here, despite many symbolism and Christ's figurative overstatement to warn against the dangers of such sins, is that the key element in making one commit sins of lust should first be identified. That is, to know where the temptations are coming from. What senses of yours are the gateway through which the devil might be using to entice you into sin? That is a question you can ask yourself. To know whether it is your eyes or your hand is very essential to avoiding further occasions of such sins. Now, secondly, Christ wants us to cut it off. Whatever the source of temptations, especially the ones out of lust, are, we must cut them off. That is, putting aside at every instance whatever might weaken those senses that you have identified in the first step. You must take them off completely throughout your journey to sanctity. And thirdly, he orders us to throw it away. We are not to mutilate ourselves in the literal sense, but after we must have identified through remorseful prayers and self-examination the sources of these temptations, and we have put them aside totally, then we have to throw them away. This means discarding all that relates to the old way of life. To throw it away means it is never going to return, and by God's grace, it means that you have put to death the lifestyle that endangers your soul to fall into sins of lust. Throwing it away is where most Christians find it difficult, because they temporarily cut off the sources of temptations, but they are not ready to lose their self-image by embracing a totally new lifestyle. Remember, the whole purpose of this saying is to warn us that the punishment of hell is far worse than losing any part of your body, and it will be better to enter God's kingdom handicapped or disabled than to be thrown into the fires of hell. Bear in mind that Christ said in Matthew chapter 10 verse 39, he who finds his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake will find it. May this give you the courage to finally put aside the old life with all its longings and strive for a total transformation in Christ by cutting off and throwing away all that is not worthy of him in your life. God bless you.